How you guys doing? How you guys doing? All right, you guys, so this is my makeup rehab series. Today is the finale, the last month that we will be doing this one. I had told you guys whether I was going to decide to do this next year or not, so I'm giving you guys spoiler alert. Yes, this will be returning next year. It was because solely of one comment. One comment put it in perspective for me, and I really did like what she said. I can't remember who it was, and I'm so sorry, but if you're watching this video, thank you very much for commenting and making me realize why I'm doing this series in general. So the reason why this is coming back next year is because, as this lovely subscriber pointed out to me, this is a fun, interesting, and different take on an empties video and a haul video. Instead of me doing empties on a monthly basis, which I cannot stand watching, I'm sorry, I just don't like to watch people's trash, and haul videos, I try to avoid them. This is more of a way to incorporate both of those into a project pan, but having more of a realistic approach to it and a certain goal and a reason to have them in this video. So that's the reason why it is coming back, because I love to share what I buy, what I've used up, so that way you guys have an idea of how I use things up, how I purchase things, so on and so forth. So yes, we will be bringing this project or this series back next year. I am still debating on how many points, what I'm doing with the point system and things. That will come in time after all this month is done and over with. I'll get to that, but it will be coming back with a few little changes, but that's the main reason why. It's because somebody put it in perspective to me, and I appreciate that very, very much. And a lot of you guys wanted me to bring it back anyway, so it worked out in the end. All right, you guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get started, because this video is going to be a two-parter. Today is the first part, where I'm going to share with you guys and close out the year, share with you guys my purchases, empties, and my pans. In the next video, when you see this this title again, it will be solely of all of my purchases I've done in 2022 and my thoughts on them. I have a lot of thoughts, you guys. Holy cannoli. Wait till you hear what I got to say and what actually stayed and what has been decluttered or used up, because let me tell you, there are some that I should have never bought this year. So stay tuned for that video. This is just going to be too long if I kept it all in one video. And a lot of you guys wanted me to do two parts so I can go into detail. So here we go. All right, so this month, I had told you guys, this is for the month of November, and I told you guys that Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all these, apparently we're Black Friday month now. It's no longer a whole weekend, it's the whole entire month. And boy, did I take advantage. Like, you guys knew that I've been so good, but even so, I don't think I did that terrible, because when I looked at my account, I did not do bad at all. I had a budget, and I still have some leftover, which I'm actually going to go today to go get a Christmas gift with the last leftover that I have for this month. So I did rather good. I did buy a bunch of gifts for Christmas, and then I did get myself some things. So let's get started on the purchases, shall we? All right, guys, we started out with 45.5 credits. That's how much we have so far in the bank. So you guys are well aware, because I always forget to tell you guys, 45.5 credits. So here we go with the first one. If you guys saw my Natasha Denona Retro Glam palette video where I swatched and compared, you guys knew that I had purchased this palette. This is the Nouveau palette from Anastasia, and I actually do not regret buying this one. I did not have any intentions of purchasing this one, but when I have it in person and I've used it, ooh, it is beautiful. I really like this color story and the formula. If Anastasia would have this formula throughout her palettes, I would have loved it even more. So this is the first purchase, so we're losing a credit for that one. Obviously, the Natasha Denona Retro Glam, I had told you guys last month I already had purchased it. So this is that video where I did all the swatches, comparisons. I've used every single shade over and over and over. I mean, this is a palette that I used nonstop in the month of November. You can hear all my thoughts in that video. So this is another one that I purchased. Yet again, another credit taken away. Then I also purchased the Mel's bundle here. So this is the Mel's bundle. I don't want to blind you guys with this mirror, but this is the Mel's bundle here. I am counting this as one purchase because it was a bundle. I didn't pick these out on my own. So that is another minus credit, because I will be using that as a palette as a whole. I didn't buy those in specifically picking out the shades because I wanted them. It was specifically for that video, and those shades are beautiful. Do not regret it. I was not going to buy the bundle because I assumed I had every single shade in my collection when I went through. I had about 3 only, so I had to get her bundle, which I don't regret. Like I said, I do not regret getting it. It was solely for a video, but I love them that they're in my collection now because that's more added to my Sydney Grace collection that I absolutely love. All right, then we have 3 more here, and then I'm going to add things that I did buy that have not come in the mail yet, but I am going to take my credits away because I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. So the first, well, this purchase was not in the cards, and this was like a last minute thing, but it was such a good deal. Such a good deal. I had to do it. I ended up placing a Beauty Bay purchase order because it was such a good deal. Like, I mean, these were like $7 a piece or something. First one I purchased was the Dark Fantasy. This one just caught my attention. It's dark, and look how pretty this will look with this. Like, I mean, it's just this kind of color. I don't really have many dark, sultry palettes because I'm more of like the bright, fun kind of girl. But this just called my name. I don't know, something with this lip, it's just gonna look so beautiful. I haven't played around with it yet, but I did get this one and I'm very excited about it. So that's another credit taken away. While I was there, New Mood was on there for like a ridiculous, I mean, telling you guys, these were like about $7. So this is what this one looks like. And what drew me into this palette, not just because of the price, but it's such a different color story from anything that I really would pick out one or have in my collection. This is so different, so randomized, so all over the place, but I love that about it. I really do. Like, some people would look at this and like, this is not cohesive, but for me, that's how my brain works when it comes to makeup. I'm like, ooh, this quad right here would be gorgeous. Here's another quad that would be gorgeous. Another quad right here would be good. Like here, 6 pans right here would be beautiful. Then you got your, like, I mean, this is how my brain would work. I'd break it down and I can see myself really liking it. So I bought that one. And this one surprised me. This one's towards the end. Such a good deal. Again, I mean, I think I spent overall under $30 on all 3 of these palettes. And this one, I'm not a fan of large palettes, but this one I just could not resist. It is the Jade palette. Look how big this is. But because I got rid of quite a bit of my larger palettes, and if I was going to pick a large palette, it had to be a good one. And this has an amazing mirror in it. Look how beautiful this one is. This is in collaboration with a YouTuber, I believe, but the color story in here, you're getting every single shade you really want. And it's just so, so pretty. You get depth and differences in here. Like, all down here is more cooler tone, more warmer tone. These 2 shades down here are like, I want to play. Like, look at these greens. It's just so pretty. I can see myself really, really liking this one. It'll make me go in so many different ways. I can sit in this palette. Like, this palette is my replacement for not getting a BH holiday palette this year. I think that's what it is. Since BH Cosmetics did not come out with a large holiday palette like they have the last 2 years that I've fallen in love with, I feel like this replaced it. Because I get the same feelings that I get from getting that palette or those palettes and wanting to just play with it and sit with it for months. So this seems to be a palette that I'm going to do that with. So I ended up getting 3 of those. So far, you guys, we have lost 6 credits. 6 credits, but we're not done because there are still 3 different orders that have not come in where I purchased things. So I placed a Sydney Grace order. That's 11 different items that I put. So that's 11 credits I am taking out. I think one of them, yes, one of them is, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say it. I'm not going to say it. But yes, 11 items I had in that order. So I'm taking out 11 credits. I also placed the Bodyography order that I had told you guys I would. That is 4 individual shadows. So I am taking away another 4 credits. And the last, I have 2 more orders. One was a ColourPop order that was completely left circle. I did not expect to do this, but they had such a great deal on their mega palettes that you got a roll of eyebrush or brushes for free. So I thought that was such a good deal. So I ended up placing an order for 1 palette. The 1 palette that I wanted, it was a cool tone one. Surprising, you guys. I can't remember the name. It's not the Smoke and Roses, maybe, or Smoke and Roses. Okay, it's one of the cooler tone palettes. I ended up placing that one. So that's 1 credit I'm taking away because that's 1 eyeshadow palette. I just did 1 because if I knew I was going to linger in that website, I was going to go crazy. So I just placed that 1 order that one day. And then Menagerie, I ended up purchasing 3 new eyeshadow palettes from them. I had already told you guys I would do that as well. So that should be no surprise. So that's an additional 3 credits taken away. So in total, you guys, I am taking away 25 credits. 25 different items have come into my collection in the last month. That is a lot. That is a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you, that is a lot. But in the scope and the theme of the whole year, that's actually not too bad because there were some months I didn't bring anything in and I've been very, very controlled. I warned you guys November was going to be very hard, and this is not including other things I purchased for gifts. So we're taking away 25 credits, you guys. I'm being honest, blunt, and to the point. Here we are. So we are down to 20.5 credits. We're down to 20 credits, 20.5. But I killed it this month in empties. All right, let's move on to the empties, shall we? I killed it this month with empties, no joke. This month, November, was the last month that my daughter had her soccer, her travel soccer was done in the month of November. We had a lot of games. We ended up placing number 1 out of the whole entire league, which was very, very exciting. Yes, we are number 1 yet again. I'm very excited about that. And you guys know that the girls like to use eyeliner as well. Since we were number 1, we got a lot of use out of these eyeliners. So, I'm going to put those to the end because it's a lot. I ended up using a Tarte mascara. Big Ego really liked it. I would purchase that one. I ended up using my Almay Brow Styler. Oh my goodness, this gel lasted 2 years. I just opened up my new one because I was able to find it. Oh my gosh, this applicator is pink when it's brand new. It's horrible. It's ugly. It's disgusting. I soaked this dry. I mean, I really scraped that one dry. So that's another thing I used up. My Lorac primer, eye primer, I was able to use another one up this year. So that's another credit being brought back in. This was completely unexpected. Did not expect to finish this off. This is my Laura Mercier Translucent. This is the mini version. I could not take this off, but if you guys can see, all that's left is what's stuck on the walls. Nothing is coming out. Nothing is coming out, you guys. It's empty. So this was left field, was not expecting that at all. So I'm very happy about that. Able to finish a lip balm. This was the fresh lip balm in one of my project pans. Was able to finish that off. So far we have 5 credits going back. And then all these eyeliners, you guys. All these eyeliners. So let's see. Let's count. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 eyeliners. Now, out of the 12 eyeliners, this one I used up on my own as well as, what's this? Yes, Blackbird. These 2, I used them on my eyes throughout the year. So these 2 I genuinely used on my own. So the rest of these, the girls used all over. All of these were used already on me at some point or another. These were not brand new, so they did not use them brand new. In total, like I said, that was 12 eyeshadows or 12 eyeliners I was able to get out of my collection, which is very, very exciting. You're not going to see that many eyeliners next year. You're not going to see that many eyeliners coming up in the next few months because, you guys, we don't have soccer again until the springtime. So it's going to be months if the girls want to do this one more time. And my daughter has one more season and that is it. So I am taking advantage and using as much as I possibly can with these ladies so I can get some of these old ones out of my collection. Some of these I just did not like on my eyes. They just didn't sit on my waterline. So I didn't mind having them use those up. So yeah, I ended up using 12. So in total, that was 17 empties. 17 empties, you guys. 17 empties. I told you guys I was going to hustle it, and I knew I was because of the end of the year soccer season. All those eyeliners are going to get used up. So because I had 17 empties, that means I get to add 17 more points or credits. That brings me back up to 37.5. As far as our pans go, I ended up with 2 pans this month. If you saw my pan those eyeshadows, you saw that I was able to hit pan last minute on this shade right here. So that is half a point. Then this was a bonus pan. I was able to hit pan on this shade right here in the e.l.f. Retro palette. That is another half a point. And the last pan that I want to share with you guys was the pan that came out of my Juvia's Place palette. So that is yet another half a point. That means I get to add 1.5 points back into my collection for those pans, which brings me to a total of 39 credits, you guys. 39 credits. That's what I ended up this year with, and that's actually not too shabby. Now, I did tell you guys I hustled this month with my empties, especially because it was the end of the year. I wanted to get some things out, and I knew the girls on the soccer team were going to get excited because the last 2 games were, I mean, they were close. Very, very close. And we got some beautiful days in there, so the girls were able to still wear their short sleeves in and write all over themselves and do whatever fun that they wanted to do with the eyeliner. So it worked out in the end, you guys. It worked out in the end. This was a lot. This was a lot. This is why I told you guys I wanted to split this video, because I had a feeling that I was going to have a lot of purchases and a lot of empties this month. I have an eye opener for next year. I know what I want to do. I have an idea of what I'm going to do with these points. Knowing my habits and knowing how I've been using things up and how I'm buying. So I'm going to have an idea of how I'm going to start my credits next year. So that way we can find a middle ground with those that want to see me tortured and those that just want me to do what I want to do. So I have an idea. I'm going to find a middle ground. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Thank you guys so much for joining me this year. This was a lot of fun for me. This was something that kept me in check, even though for the most part, it really didn't need to be kept in check. I did pretty good on my own, but it is something that I do like to share my empties and my pans with. And it does gives me a reference too whenever I do these end of the year videos. I can just reference these videos back to see what I hit pan on, because trust me, it comes in handy a lot. So thank you guys for joining me this year. The next video you most likely will see was all the things that I purchased overall this year that I have been able to use, and I'll give you my honest and raw thoughts, whether they were worth me a credit, to waste a credit or not on. So that should be coming up, and that should be exciting. So that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Any suggestions, constructive criticism, please leave it down in the comment section. I would love to hear that. More videos on the screen for your enjoyment. Until then, adios.